Welcome to a nice special interview in the morning with a dear friend, Vimal Kumar. And we were all getting worried about Lakshya Sen. We were all getting worried what's going on. And then step in Vimal Kumar and Prakash Padukone, and we've seen what happened. We've seen the French, we've seen All England, and we've seen a completely transformed Lakshya Sen. We are seeing a transformation in Sindhu as well. Lakshya is almost there. In fact, there. If you check the mathematical calculations, number 12 in the race to Paris, Sindhu is there. So a lot of onus will be on Vimal Kumar to deliver for India in the next 4 months and into Paris. I'm putting him under pressure because I can. He's a friend of mine. But more importantly, Vimal, what have you done? Because clearly there is a very stark difference in the way Lakshya is playing the last two tournaments. It was in the mind, or have you guys also done technical adjustments, Vimal?
Yeah, thanks, Maria, for all those nice words. And it has been very challenging because Lakshya has been with us at the academy for maybe more than 10, 11 years. Since the age of 9, he has been with us, and so as a kid, he had a lot of issues with his physicality. As such, he had issues with his shoulder, bit of spinal issue, spine areas. So a lot of work was done by our strength and conditioning person, Declan, at that time when he was very young. So he assessed him. So the training has everything has been very specific because he had always had the tendency to get injuries. So that has been his main problem area. But he's a very athletic kid, and he was, and absolutely. Even if you look at him now, the way he plays badminton, it has always been. His game is like that, very exciting to watch, and might not be very technically as perfect maybe as Prakash or Gopi in their footwork and such things. So he was totally completely, I would say, a Nadal type of a guy, but very clever. And so that is, so he has been going through some poor patches because in 2022, maybe when he came really onto the scene, and in fact, that was towards the end of 2021. He started showing good progress in 2019 when he won some of the 4-5 good challenge events, and that's how we came into the limelight. So that time we had employed in fact the former the world number one Morten Frost Hansen. So he came into us and to the academy. This is, I'm talking about 2019, through Olympic Gold Quest. We requested him, and so he came in as an advisor. So he had certain suggestions, and at that time in 2019 we sent him along with 4-5 other youngsters to Denmark in Aarhus, just to get used to the methods there. And so there he showed tremendous progress. Him, Kiran George, Mithun Manjunath, these are the guys who were the next line of youngsters at the time, and we wanted them to get better. And so that really did help. And but again, the issue was subsequently the COVID came in, and so there was a bit of an issue, and we couldn't sustain that sort of a program. But then again, towards when things opened up in 2021, he did well at the World Championships. So that's how he came into the limelight, from out of the blue, and he
The
did well.
question I'm keen on, Vimal. For example, take the Commonwealth Games. He played excellently. He did well
Yeah,
in All England. He did well
yeah,
in the World Championship. But
yeah,
then last year there was a fall, and
yeah,
and for a period, some tournaments, 6, 7, 8 tournaments, he was losing the
yeah,
first round.
yeah,
Except Canada, maybe.
yeah,
All of a sudden, there was this sort of lull, and we
yeah,
were all starting to question. Can Lakshya make the Olympics? Because it's
yeah,
huge, it's important for India. And then this turnaround came again. And all
yeah,
of a sudden, he's starting to look the part. Even the last, the Swiss Open match, you could see, I mean, 4-12, he's not giving up. He's back from there, winning
yeah.
games. So there is this resilience. That's what I'm wanting to know from you. What, in the last month and a half, what
Mm.
is the work that has been done by you and Prakash? What is this story of this turnaround?
No, basically, because he came back, because we always felt that, it should be the young former internationals, they should be managing, because me and Prakash, both of us are getting old. We are in the 60s, and it is tough for us to manage a young athlete like him, because to be on the court and monitoring every session of his, and it is not an easy thing to do, and lots of travel, and so we always felt that former international players who have just come out of retirement would be the ideal person, because we have quite a few in India who have done well at the highest level, and so we wanted them to get involved, and but maybe immediately that did not work out, and because again it is the wavelength, how comfortable you are with the person, so that matters, and so eventually it is just that that management aspects, and so then again he came back to us, and he said, could you help us, and so then we ensured that it is not, because we knew what needed to be done, and we gave him the choice. We've asked him, what you really think is required for you. You come out with a plan. Your sessions. What are the stroke routines you need to do? We knew, the physical part he needed to get better, and that was being taken care. But on the court sessions were very, very important. What needed to be done, what strokes needed to be played, and playing those shots at the right time. He has the strokes, but employing them judiciously. So that's the key at the highest level, and so that we set up. We talked to him, and so he had certain suggestions, and then we gave in our inputs. To a certain extent, he started enjoying those sessions, and maybe that could be the key. It is nothing else, because an elite athlete, once they get to that level, it is all about how happy they are mentally, and because there is good support system available in the country. There are good physical trainers available, good physios available, and good coaches available, and so badminton is in a very good space in the country. But again, gelling well, so that's the key, and so to a certain extent, Lakshya at the moment is in slightly a happy mental state. That is, I would put it that way. That Fantastic. Is helping him. Yes.
Excellent answer, because clearly, obviously he was not looking happy on court. Yes. And all of a sudden he started to sort of look different as well. We don't give the mental aspect that importance. Exactly. Unless we talk about mental health. Yes. But the fact that you just alluded to it, that the mental health of the athlete is so very critical. Yes. At the elite high performance level. Vimal, what's the plan for the next 3 months? Everybody would want to know this, because now that he's there, he's got a foot in the Olympics. We know he's there. Yes. 28th April is the cutoff. He's almost there. What are the plans for the next 3 months? Clearly, you'll get solid 3 months to get him ready for Paris. What are the plans?
He had earlier entered Swiss Open and Madrid Masters. Both these tournaments he has entered. Basically just as a sort of a security for him. In fact, I would say, because he wasn't very sure whether he would make it for the Olympic Games. Even now, yes, he's more or less, I would say 80-90% he's in. But still, because it is so competitive, these top 30 players, anyone can beat anyone, on that given particular day. It is that sort of a competition we are seeing, and so Lakshya survived, this French and the All England, to a certain extent. He did reasonably well, beating good players, and so for his for his confidence and for his game part also, we thought he was moving well, and such things gave us a lot of confidence. So then the Swiss Open, actually he wasn't in the right frame of to play, but since he has entered, so he's playing over there, but what we have told him is that when you enter a competition, you play properly. You're not going there to play to lose. You should just give in your best. Otherwise, don't enter. That has always been our motto. We have always drilled that into his head. Because no competition, you can take these. Otherwise, don't enter. It is, but this being an Olympic qualification here, it has become like a rat race. Everybody is playing. If you look at the number of the top players, the number of competitions they are playing is so much, 20 to 25 competitions. So they have no time to do anything. So now, what we have done is, so after Swiss Open, he will come back. He will get about 10 days time here in Bangalore. And subsequently, that Asian Badminton Championships is a good event, that's going to happen between 9th and 14th April. That's a big event. That's so Lakshya can, if he can do well there, he can further consolidate his position and maybe get into the top 8 at the world ranking stage. So those are the things we are looking at it. Then once the Thomas Cup, end of April, we have the Thomas Huber Cup, which India has to defend, and so that's also another tough. But subsequently, May, June, July, he will get clear 3 months. That is where again, he can really work on his physical front. That is very much required, because badminton, it is unlike any other sport. The qualification is so tough. The number of competition an athlete has to go through. So the process involved in badminton is very, very cumbersome and very tiring, for an athlete, on an athlete's body. So we want him to train properly and choose maybe a couple of competitions only prior to the Olympic Games, and then maybe travel to France a little early, so he can, prepare there, about 2 to 3 weeks, be there and get into the Olympic village at the earliest and practice over there. So that is what our plans are, and so if it all falls through, it should go like that, because
fantastic.
Yeah.
This is what I like about you all, because ultimately, having been in sport for 25, 30 years, it's about preparation.
Yes.
You have to trust the process, because the results will come only if the process is right. You don't turn up for an Olympic Games overnight and expect a result.
Yes.
You won't get it.
Yes.
You've got to get the process right. And these are music to my ears. Fantastic. Last question, Vimal, on Sindhu, because I wanted to speak to you on Lakshya, so I did. But Sindhu also, I met Sindhu and Ramna in February. And before you all were traveling to the Asia Championships, and then subsequently French and All England and all of this. And I was told that, look, over the next month and a half, you all are going to assess where she is physically. But clearly, if the match against Chen Yufei, for example, or the match against An Si Young, the first game, yes, there are some mistakes, but she's starting to show signs of a comeback. Your thoughts?
No, even I thought, because Prakash was looking a lot into her and maybe giving her that again, that comfort, the mental aspects, so that was being looked into. And then physically, she definitely needed attention, on the physical front, because so that is what, she has been working at it in the last with 4 to 6 weeks they did. So I feel at the moment physically she's okay, but dealing with these big girls who has deception and the deceptive players, that is where she runs into issues, and so she needs to come back and work on that. But she also needed this match practice, because she hasn't played competitive badminton for some time, because eventually, however much you train and other things, when you're in competition, that is different. So you need to get used to different styles of players and back in the circuit. So if you look at it initially, the first tournament itself, she was pushed to the limits by the player from Canada and US, and she survived that, had a good match against Chen Yufei. So that gave us again a lot of comfort. She was on the right track, but she still needs to cut down on her errors. So I think that is what Prakash has been telling her. You just need to, because women's badminton, there's a lot of rallies. There's a lot of, unlike men's badminton, there's a lot of flat stuff happening, and men's badminton is all about pace, and women's badminton too, there's a lot of pace, but they still explore a bit of like the old men's badminton, get to the a lot of clears are involved, a lot of good drops are involved, a lot of good half smashes are involved, a lot of deception is involved. So Sindhu needs to find a way back, cutting down on her errors, because if you look at it in 2016, 17, that phase, the matches she played, horrendous matches with lots of rallies, and she could withstand that. So that is what she requires, and I think over a period of time, I found that she has lost a bit of an edge at the net area, being consistent, play without making mistakes. because 2019 she played really well at the World Championships. She literally whipped everyone. So that sort of a thing, she needs to find a way back. I'm sure, she can get to that level. So that is what we are looking at it, and so I'm hoping, again, the preparation is very important. Let her play these tournaments again. We will get some more time during May, June, July, phase to address some more of these issues. And so I think, that is what Prakash did mention to me, that, she needs to cut down on the errors. I also watched a lot of the matches. So let's see. And because I still feel she has another year or two in her at the top level. And, if she can maintain, see, if you look at it, Carolina Marin or Tai Tzu Ying and Yamaguchi, they're all of her age, same level players. So they are, but the Chinese are not as formidable as before. That's what I've seen. Their quality of players is not as tough as some years back. 5-6 years back, they were really awesome. But now, I find them okay. They're nothing very special, because earlier the girls were very sharp in their stroke making, and it was tough to play them. And but now, so that just gives us even more hope. And so let's see how it goes.
I'll leave it at that, Vimal, because it's been absolutely fascinating speaking to you and sort of picking your mind on both Lakshya and Sindhu. All of India will be wanting that elusive medal, because, we are a country starved of champions, and the Olympic Games, for us, every 4 years, the hope is built. And then clearly badminton is one of the go-to sports, because now we are on the cusp of becoming a multi-sporting country. We can see the number of people playing. So it's very, very important that you and Prakash are at your best with these kids, whether it's Sindhu, whether it's Lakshya, and sort of deliver for India at the Olympic stage. It's going to be tough, because ultimately whole world will be watching. But all I can say is all the very best to you. We will all be there in good and bad to try and back you all up in the effort. The effort is paramount. Thank you very much, Vimal Kumar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Yeah. Bye.